it like being a makeup lover in Romania, you ask? Expensive. Hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Hi, my name is Mia and this is my virtual vanity where we both love makeup and we're quite critical of it. And in case you didn't know, I am from Romania. In this little eastern country over here, we like to joke that we are 50 years behind everybody else. So when the apocalypse will inevitably come, you guys should come visit. We've got great landscapes, a beautiful country filled with dumbass people, and the mighty corrupt government at our head. We are basically every stereotype of a post-communist country you could think of. And us Romanians, we have a very complex relationship with our country. We both love it and hate it, both see its cancerous underbelly and its great potential, and I guess that's where a lot of our frustrations comes from, because we can see all of the good that we have, but people aren't quite reaching it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, somebody asked me how it is to be a makeup lover in Romania. I think her name was Gia Sol. She asked me this in a comment on one of my older videos. And I've been meaning to film this for quite some time, but I kept postponing it because I suck. So, here it is, my video on how it is to be a beauty lover in Romania. I'm going to first start by talking a bit about what you actually get on the Romanian beauty market. And until recently, there really wasn't a lot of stuff you could get, and with that I mean there weren't a lot of hyped brands that you could get in Romania. As far as I know, Urban Decay, for example, came in Romania, I think, spring 2014. Kat Von D came this summer in 2018. Becca came in early 2018. Too Faced 2016. Fenty came out in autumn 2018 in our Sephoras. So as you can see, we're quite a bit behind the American market, which, don't get me wrong, is a result of supply and demand, and businesses want to make money, so of course they will come only when they notice that there is enough money to be made out in this market. So I'm not saying it's unfair, it's just annoying. So up until recently, there weren't many things that you could get locally here, which means that you have to get stuff shipped from outside the country. The thing is that when there aren't a lot of stuff you can ship locally, or the shipping expenses are high, you get a huge black market filled with fakes. And I mean fakes for everything. Fakes for even for stuff that doesn't even exist. So you can see Huda palettes and Kylie palettes that just have the logo slapped on them, but they're nothing like what the brand actually released. Like the amount of fake Kylie stuff that I see, even on ads on Facebook, even on regular websites, it's just fucking amazing, to be honest. There isn't a lot of conscious consumerism going on, or even a bit of education about what is real and what is fake, so people will buy this dangerous fake shit and slather it all over their faces and they won't even know it's fake. So they pay money for this bullshit just because they don't make the difference between a fake from a brand, a real one from a brand, or even know what a brand actually released or not. And that's not their fault. That is seriously not their fault. They are not as immersed into the beauty world as I am, as other friends of mine that are beauty lovers are, so it's normal for them to not make the difference. But you see, the fact that we didn't have as much variety until recently, and the shipping costs are a bit exorbitant depending on where you get them from, this just created a void filled by these black market sites which is absolutely ridiculous, and I make a point to call them out whenever I see them on social media. I just drag them all to hell. Of course, my comments get deleted real quick, but at least maybe I saved 1 or 2 people from making a dumb purchase, you know? I mentioned earlier that certain brands didn't arrive until quite late to our Sephoras. However, we do have luxury brands, and we've had luxury brands for quite a while. Things like Dior, Yves Saint Laurent, Chanel, those have been available for, frankly, years. But none of the very trendy brands. As I've said, I think there's been like a makeup renaissance that came out in Romania post 2010, where brands actually started showing more interest in us and in our market, and I've been quite grateful for that, to be honest, especially since I started getting into makeup only post 2014. So just as things were starting to get traction and we started getting all of the good stuff, so I can count myself lucky. Now, I mentioned that if you really want something and it's not available, you have to ship it from out of the country, and you've got several options for that. You've got Beauty Bay and Cult Beauty. Beauty Bay has the cheapest shipping of the two. That's like $3 to Romania, which is just amazing to me. You can get it from Cult Beauty, but Cult Beauty has a much more expensive shipping, upwards of 10 euros, I believe. You can get it directly from the websites, like the brand websites, and their shipping depends from brand to brand. For example, most indie brands in the US, to get them I have to pay $13 shipping, maybe even $16. Mainstream brands also mostly $10, $13, unless they're based in the EU. UK brands I can get for as low as $5 shipping. So being a beauty lover in Romania, it gets expensive unless you start prioritizing your purchases or doing bulk purchases. And what I mean is that, for example, when I want something from an indie brand, say ColourPop, I add it on a wish list, and I only buy when I see that just a certain amount of stuff has added on the wish list, just so the shipping is worth it. Because no way in fucking hell I'm paying shipping from the US to Romania just for a couple of items. And when they arrive into the country, of course, they will go through customs unless they've been sent from the EU. For example, Makeup Revolution stuff directly from their website just comes directly to my local post office. ColourPop comes to the customs office, which, let me tell you, is not nearby where I live. I live in the capital, by the way. I live in Bucharest. And then you potentially have to pay customs fees. For example, for Igneous Cosmetics, I got it shipped from Canada. That was more than $15, I believe. And I didn't pay customs for those. I don't know why. For ColourPop, I did have to pay customs, but it was less than 5%. Was it? No, it was 10% of the total value of the package. And I did order with a friend, so those costs were split. But you also have to keep this in mind when you don't live in the US. You have to keep in mind that things will go through customs and you may have to pay an extra fee to get them. And so I have to consider, do I really want that item enough? Do I really want to try that brand enough to pay for shipping, wait a month, maybe a month and a half for them, then pay customs? You know, it's a whole equation going on in my mind whenever I think of ordering from certain stuff, certain brands, certain sites, stuff that's not available here, and so on and so forth. Now, I did mention that we don't have as much variation, but that's not to say that we are completely missing out on stuff. Drugstore stuff, yeah, there's a lot of drugstore stuff in the US that we don't have in Romania, which is perfectly not normal, to be honest. But we do have the big brands. But we do have plenty of drugstore stuff that's also available to you guys, like the big name brands. We don't have things such as Flower Beauty, for example. I don't think Flower Beauty broke through the European market yet, but I may be wrong. Then in stores, we also don't have Milani. We have Milani through third-party resellers, and third-party resellers here, as long as they're a reputable website, I have quite a few that I like to buy from. I like to buy from themakeupshop.ro. I like to buy from pinkpanda.ro. Those I know to be reputable resellers. From those I can get things such as Milani, Nabla, Makeup Revolution, Ofra, certain indie brands such as OPV. But the thing is that you have to incur extra costs. There's commercial markup, of course, because those sites need to make a profit. Now, Makeup Revolution, I'd rather get it from the regular site because prices here for Makeup Revolution are doubled. And when I mean doubled, I mean literally doubled. For example, one of their chocolate palettes, when I get it from the website, that's £8. That would be at most 30-40 lei. Here they ask for 50 or 60 lei, so a 20 lei difference possibly. Some stuff is just ridiculously, it has such a ridiculous markup for what they are. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Makeup Revolution, but I'm not paying mid-range prices for Makeup Revolution because I'm not crazy. But then you may wonder, but Mia, don't you like have any local makeup brands? Why don't you ever talk about Romanian makeup? That's because there is no Romanian makeup. Like, there are a lot of indie brands and big brands, corporate brands that make skincare. There's Elmi Plant, there's whatchamacallit, Gero Vital. There's a lot of like smaller handmade brands that make skincare, but there's not any makeup at all. Corporate makeup, we don't have it. Indie makeup, no siree. And I'm not sure there even would be a market for it, because here most makeup users, they go in Sephora or MAC or Deutsch Market or another store with makeup. They sort of choose what they like and they leave. They don't keep up with the releases, they don't know what's trendy overseas, and you know, that's perfectly fine, because I think those people have a better time with their wallets than me and you do. Seriously, I think their lives are much easier than us agonizing over sparkle dust. First world problems, really. But yeah, there is no culture of, oh, handmade makeup, oh, prestige. Like, if a Romanian person wants to buy a prestige item, they don't buy, I don't know, they don't buy Natasha Denona. They will go and buy Dior, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, those old name brands that reek old money. That's where they're gonna buy from, because they know that old money equals quality. And yeah, sometimes it may not equal quality, because for example, we all know the Chanel quads are a dusty mess. But that's what people, that's the associations that they make in their heads. It's like a newer generation of people that have watched international YouTube and are interested in mid-range brands from the US, and that shows in, as I said, this post-2010 renaissance of local Sephoras. But there is still a lot of people that, as I said, they go there, they don't care to keep up with new releases, they just don't care, they just want something that works for them. However, what we do have, and you guys don't have, for once, for a change, is a lot of Turkish brands available. So we've got brands such as Flormar, Ruby Rose, Golden Rose. Those, from what I've seen online, those are all of Turkish origin, and they make quite good makeup for lower prices. Maybe like, let's say, maybe just around Maybelline prices, or maybe just a bit more expensive, and their stuff is pretty nice. Like, for example, I've got a Flormar blush that I have had since my college years. I cannot bear to part it. It is such a beautiful blush. I've got a lot of nail polish blushes from them. I've had golden rose lipsticks that were quite nice. We also have a lot of Italian makeup imported in. We've got such stuff such as Colistar, we've got Bottega Verde, and you can imagine that it is because we are quite close to those countries geographically. Let's talk about beauty boxes. BoxyCharm does not ship to Europe. Ipsy does not ship to Europe. FabFitFun, whatever other boxes you guys have, do not ship to Europe. You can't even pay them a fee to ship to Europe. No, they do not ship, period. I actually did an experiment. I got BoxyCharm for 3 months and I had it delivered here via a shipping forwarding service. 2 times out of 3 the box arrived. The 3rd time, the actual time I wanted the fucking things in the box, the Alamar palette, they did not arrive. And it's still not arrived to this day. I'm not sure what happened. Like, I know that my local postal office, I never had issues with theft or packages being opened, like nothing. And I never had issues at the customs either. But there is rampant theft going on in our postal offices, and I've got a lot of friends that complain about it. I'm lucky that the clerk ladies at my local postal office are complete angels, and I love them, and we've kind of got a friendly relationship going on. So yeah, there's that. As for local boxes, there are a couple, but they never seem to live long, and they mostly have skincare or brands that I honestly do not give one single shit about. And if I'm about to clutter my life with a box, I'd like it to be at least brands that I want to try. Another important thing that any Romanian beauty lover has to keep in mind is that there are absolutely no returns. And when I hear American people just talk so relaxed and so laissez-faire about returns, so I'm just gonna try it out, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna return it. I'm like, you don't even think of the waste that you're producing. And actually I have a video on it. But keep in mind, it's old. It was before I got my camera, so audio and video and editing might not be great, but if you want to hear my thoughts on it, it's gonna be down below. But yeah, here you cannot return stuff. The only way you can return stuff is if you have not used the product and you've got the original receipt and the packaging. So for example, the latest return that I've done, like maybe, I think I've done 2 returns in my life, and those were because the product that I got was wrong. So I wanted to get the Makeup Forever highlighter, and the testers were in the wrong order, and accidentally got a bronzer because I oriented myself after the names on the tester, but the testers were like encastrated in a glass box. You couldn't take them out. And I know, I thought it was weird that the packaging was brown, but I was like, ah, it's Makeup Forever. They're crazy with their names anyway. They're probably crazy with their packaging too. And instead of the highlighter, I got the bronzer. And the second day I went there with the product, with the package, with the receipt, explained the situation. The lady there had to check that I did not use the product, and I exchanged it with the highlighter. Basically, this is the only way you can return stuff. You don't like it, too bad, money wasted. It doesn't work for you, too bad, money wasted. Any other reason why you'd like to return? Too bad, money wasted. Which makes us, or at least me, much more careful of what I buy. I do a lot of research before buying. Yes, I do have some impulse purchases because I am human, but I do them knowing that if I do not like them, I have to eat that cost up in some way or the other. So basically, to recap a bit and to throw back to my intro about being expensive, being a beauty lover in Romania, you have to deal with the following things. Not as much variety as in the US, but it is getting better. 2, dumbass shipping costs. 3, crazy markup. 4, no returns. So Americans, hashtag check your privilege, because you've got it so good. You've got it so damn good with all of the options that you have and all of the indie brands and your cheap shipping and everything else. Of course, that is not to say that there's no reason for it being the reason that it is. I don't want to sound whiny. I am not whiny. I have accepted the situation and I do the best I can with it. I understand that companies need to have a profit margin. I understand that shipping does not depend entirely on the company, but on FedEx rate or Cargus rates or whatever other courier rates they're using. And again, I understand the crazy markup, why it is how it is, the crazy shipping, the until recently lack of variety. I get it. I get it, and I've made peace with it. It is what it is, and all I can do is wait for the markets to boom even more so I can have access to even more stuff. Until then, thank God for Cult Beauty, thank God for Beauty Bay, and thank God for the privileged financial status that allows me to enjoy all of these pretty, shiny things. Most importantly, thank God for that. Okay, this was it. This was the video. I hope you guys found it interesting or informative or whatever. I hope I answered all of the possible questions that you might have regarding the differences in between being a makeup lover here and being a makeup lover in the US. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any other questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you have any corrections, like if you live in Romania and you think that I said something dumb, go tell me to fuck myself in the comments. I am always in the business for being proved wrong and having an intelligent discussion. Yeah, that was it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, evening, whatever it is where you're from. Bye.